Hello, what you see is the home screen of the Audit Tracker, which is an exclusive ERP solution for the financial auditing companies and is built on Odoo, which is the most popular open source ERP. Audit Tracker is a fully comprehensive solution with a strong user access control as an example. First example, where we can have different type of users in a company, in an auditing company. Here as an example, you can see a secretary or a receptionist who could be a work clerk also. So it could be used to enter some data and also to do some quality control at some stages. And then an higher authority is the most privileged user in the hierarchy, who could be defined or who could be the final approval authorized person in this auditing company. Audit manager, who could be responsible for different works and creates tasks or sub work to the auditors or the consultants under him. We can also set different permissions for each users, what they can do, what they cannot do, etc. So also there are two auditors that you can see in the screen already. Now this is the in the home screen again. Before I get into the work, which is the transactions, let me just take you through the configurations. So in configurations, the major area is the sections, and if I open the sections, you can definitely understand. Sections are basically the different areas of the audit works. The main sections, of course, could be by group, by type, or parent. You could see the main sections are like assets, liabilities, income, expenses, equity, etc. The main heads in a trial balance. And of course, we could create subsections depending on the work under each main sections. And this also depends on the team structure and the working strategy of your organization. Now, another interesting thing is, for example, if I take fixed assets, we could define, okay, this is so if I take for example, a fixed assets, we can define a checklist. So this checklist and its expected answers. So for example, if a company has got fixed assets less than 1 million, and then there's a question like this, and also we could see the criticality at different stages. So this stages will be in the work. So for review, it's criticality, or for which stage. So here it is for invoicing, this has to be done, and the expected answer is yes. So this you can understand much on the workflow. Okay. So now let's assume that, okay, let's assume that audit manager creates a work. So I just log in as an audit manager. Now I'm logging in as an audit manager. So this is my login screen for an audit manager. So just remember this. So this is a discussion screen. So I'll explain this later. So each and every status of different works that are linked to him would be updated at the discussion board. Okay. Now we create a work. So when we create a work, for example, I create a work. So I have to put a name to the work. So I have to choose the customer. Then I put a work type. Let it be annual auditing. And then I have start date. I have to start from 1st of May. And this has to be completed. Okay. This has to be completed by 15th of May. I could plan hours, how many hours to be worked for this work. So maximum is 100 hours. There's the creation dates and different things. Okay, some explanations. I save this work. Okay. The work can be assigned, means the responsible can be set with this assign button. So if I am myself going to be the manager, I can assign to myself, or I can define if anybody else will be responsible for this work. So I can put a command, okay, anything. Okay. Next step is to create the sub work or task under this work. So let me show you. So now here is the task linked to the task. Now let me create, so there are no tasks for this work right now. So when I create a task, then it asks for the task title. Okay, maybe assets. Okay, so I could choose assets. So he can handle all the assets. Okay. Then we can assign to engineer. Okay, have to put the planned hours. Okay, he could work 40 hours. On which date that he has to go. So we have calendars later. Okay, and then audit manager is created by tags. And could put the description. Save. I can assign to auditor. Get this auditor. Assign. Okay. Now this task should be available for the auditor 1. So let me try to log in as auditor 1 right now. I'm logging in as auditor 1. So this is the message screen for the auditor 1, and you can see that there is a task. I mean, he gets the task message. So as soon as he reads, for example, this was yesterday's work. So as soon as he does this, it goes away from his list. Now here is the work that the task that I just assigned. So he can go and yeah, from either from here he can go and see the work. Yeah, so this is the task that he has to do. Now we have a timesheet interface for the mobile app, which is a mobile app for the Android device. So which I can show you in this video, but it is a really app. So basically this timesheet is being captured from the mobile app. So like, yeah, so this description, what it does, yeah, done. And he took like 30 hours. I mean, this has to be on a daily this thing, so he can do a daily. And as soon as can be done from the mobile app. Now the next interesting feature is now with the sections. So he could load all the sections. So under assets, okay, so these are the sections under assets. So he was supposed to do assets. So these are the sections under assets. Now he understands that, okay, this customer has got a fixed assets of less than 1 million. So he can change the value. I mean, when that means that he don't have to take care of this, because there could be some options like this. Now, okay, now this is fine. Then he does a load checklist. Okay, so the questions will be added to the checklist. Now these questions are related to the sections like fixed assets greater than 1 million, inventories, cash balance. So these are some questions. So now he has to answer this. And there could be some critical questions set for which he cannot set it as done. So he has to mark here yes, or whatever is the answer. So check the auditors of yes. Okay, purchase orders made, yes, yes, yes. And he does all this, and suppose he doesn't do anything or something like this, and then he clicks done. So he has to basically do the checklist, and then he can make this as a done. So it just asks, have you entered the proper timesheet? So remember, okay, yes, and he does this, okay. And this is listing that they are critical at some stage, like for review, for issue, and for invoice. So expected answers, so not expected answers. This is not expected answers. Okay. So I have to okay. So he has to the red ones that he has to answer as a must. So you could go there and 20401, 20501, and 20601 has to be yes before he proceed from this stage. This has to be okay. Now I think he should be able to process, because some questions are critical for this stage. Okay, again one more is there, 20601 in prepayments. I mark all as yes. Then I put done. Okay. Okay, I'm creating it as a done. Now you see that, okay, it shows us some black ones, but this is not for at this stage. It is critical for issue and for invoice, these two ones, and the rest all answers are done as expected. Then I can do a proceed. Okay, are you sure to continue? Now this will go to the audit manager in his dashboard, and then the further actions can be done. So similarly, we can create different tasks in one main work, and this could be managed at different stages. So let me log in as the main audit manager and do the rest of this. So I am in manager's login. So now the manager gets a message here. Okay, audit manager, this task has been done. So he can go into this work now, and he could do the review. Of course, so he sees this task. Okay, it is done. So now he can go to the works. This one. Okay. Now he can. Okay. If you want to send for review to. Okay. The send for review has to be done. Okay. Now he has to attach the review file. Just put some file right now. Save. And the send for review actually has to be done by the audit manager or the auditor. I'm just doing it here. Send for review. And then he could do analyze different things, go to checklist, and then work history. Okay, everything is done. So we can see that all the work history has been here, and value status of different sections all detailed. And he can give for higher authority permission, or he can set it as ready to send. Okay. Now there are some audit comments that he has to make before setting it as ready to comment. An audit report, any qualification required? Yes. And then assignment letter attachment required? Yes. So these are audit comments. Okay. Now I said save. Now this is ready to send. Okay, I asked the secretary to send this, so the secretary can send this. Okay. Now even audit manager can do it. So let me click draft send right now so that I can move ahead with the workflow. Okay, now there is a QC checklist. This is a quality control checklist. It's basically another task which has to be created for every task. So when it is ready to send, the secretary has to just verify specifically that all the work has been done. Okay. So let me create a QC checklist. So a QC checklist is nothing but a task for the secretary or somebody who is doing the quality control of the documents, just to ensure that all the documents are there, etc. So that's maybe a quality control checklist. So I create a new quality control task. QC checklist. That is like 2 hours for this, created by, and save. I can assign the secretary to do the quality control. Okay. Now, so in quality control, it's basically a loading checklist. Okay, so just one question, for example. So this could be multiple questions again for the quality control. Okay, so you have to do this quality control before sending the draft to the customer. Now I come back to the work, and I hope I can do the draft send. Okay, now draft send update. So I have to inform. So this has to be done by the secretary. So I inform the audit manager that this draft has been sent. Okay. So now there is a review comment does not match with the draft sending comment. So there was a review comment. Now it has to match with the draft sending. So before draft sending, we check the audit comments. So I have to go here and see. It's because audit any qualification required. So qualification updated, yes. Assignment letter attachment required. So assignment letter attached. So I have to do all this before sending the draft. Okay, because it depends on the auditor comments or the audit manager's comments before sending the draft. If I said I can set drafts and I put as audit manager sending the draft. Okay, now the next step will be basically the approval from the client. So this will be different done by different users maybe. So I just it's just showing the workflow. So the client approval received. Okay, so there are some tasks which are not in state done. So we have to just go in here and say that this task is done. We have to make everything as done before we before doing everything, the final client approval, we have to see the system checks that everything is done. So audit manager, okay, QC done. Okay, 1 hour for this. Done. Okay. Now I go to client approved. Just need to verify that it has taken all the sections which are required, because to avoid any discrepancy, like maybe the auditor might have missed out some sections which were supposed to be loaded, and this also could be captured at this stage before, like when finally setting it as client approval. Okay, now I do client approval. Okay, now I have to form the higher authority, because it's higher authority who does the client signature comments. Client signature comments. Okay. Approval client received. Yes. Okay. Client approved. Okay. Now I'm sending to higher authority. Now this comes into higher authority. Now we cannot do anything here, so I have to log in as higher authority to do the final issue, or somebody has access of an higher authority to confirm the final issue. I'm going to log in as higher authority. I see update in my discussion board that this work is ready for issue. So I got to this work. Okay, now I can see an issue. It's an approval for issue. Okay, that's the issue. Okay, issue inform to. Okay. So now the issue is done. So after the issue, then so we could see the work history, what has happened. So just ignore this user, because we were supposed to log in as different users, and then we can create the invoice for this work, and it has a fully featured accounting supported here. Create invoice. Okay. Just put some product, and there is a price. Okay, save, validate, and the invoice is created for this customer. And if I come to the work, I can see one invoice is created. Then I can register the payment from the customer. That's a receipt from the customer. So I can just pays by bank. So that's validated. Okay, now I can put the invoice is created. Okay, if I want to inform someone of the invoice is created, and then the job can be closed. So these are the different status of the whole. Okay, so file reference, So we have to do the file reference before closing. Anyway, so this is the whole workflow. And apart from this, we have a lot of dashboard features. Okay, and we have different task analysis reports and work reports. So I could see all works at different stages. So issued, invoice, ready to send, and different uh, users were involved, and the planned hours and actual hours and everything. So this gives an overview of the application. Thank you. Thanks a lot for your patient hearing.